Thanks, Maggie and Jenna, and welcome to another edition of Now You Know Sports. I'm Joe.
And I'm Creighton.
And today we've got college sports on the agenda. Let's start off talking about basketball. What do you think about the Memphis scandal?
Well, if you haven't heard yet, Memphis has been accused of cheating violations, or of academic violations, specifically Derrick Rose's SAT scores. Now, this all happened while John Calipari was the coach. Now, they have a new coach there, Josh Pastner, who's 32 years old. He's a University of Arizona alumni. He was a member of their 1997 national championship team. And he's highly regarded around the college basketball community. A lot of people think he's going to be the next big thing. Now, when he was a teenager, he was a coach for AAU teams, a competitive circuit for college basketball or high school basketball prospects. And a lot of people think that he could be the next one to lead Memphis to glory. Now, he did have a really solid recruiting class coming in, but then it kind of got disrupted by John Calipari's departure to Kentucky.
Speaking of Kentucky, what do you think about them this year?
Well, I think Calipari is, he's worshipped there. It's a little scary. When you see the video from their Midnight Madness practices, it's just odd how much they want John Calipari to be the coach there. They're really willing him to another national championship.
Now, let's talk about John Wall. He scores 27 points in his debut. Do you think he's just another one of those one-and-done freshmen?
You know, I do. I think he's another prospect in the mold of Kevin Durant and Derrick Rose. He's going to come in. He's going to have a great year in college basketball. He's going to take his team into the tournament. And then next June, he'll be gone. He'll probably be the number one overall pick to somebody. And he'll probably have a big impact in the NBA starting next fall. I mean, it's just kind of sad that, you know, being a college freshman, he won't have the experience that guys like you and I would have.
Right. This is true. Now, who do you have winning the national title?
Well, like any good Eagle fan, I have the Boston College Eagles. And I know you have the same, correct?
Yes, of course. Of course. Actually, I've had the Eagles ever since I was given a March Madness bracket, actually. But if I had to choose a runner-up to the mighty Eagles, I would go with Kentucky because John Wall, he just looks like he's got the swagger to lead him to a championship.
You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that pick. That pick makes a lot of sense to me. I have Rick Barnes as the runner-up to the Eagles. I think that he has another good team coming back. And speaking of Texas, they have an awfully good football team down there.
Yes, they do. And behind that football team is a great quarterback in Colt McCoy.
True, very true.
Now, speaking of Colt McCoy, we've got the question of who's going to win the Heisman Trophy this year. Well, what do you think?
Well, I don't think it's going to be Colt McCoy. I don't think he's had a good enough season to warrant a Heisman Trophy. But, you know, there is a guy, another invite to several past Heisman ceremonies, Tim Tebow. I think he's going to be the second two-time winner of the Heisman Award. The stats are definitely worse this year than they have been in the past, but I think he's going to lead them to another national championship. And he's a special player. He's a once-in-a-lifetime type player.
Okay. First of all, I dislike Tim Tebow. I'm sorry. If you like him, I have no problem with it, but I'm not a big fan. Now, speaking of Heismans, we're going to stay in the SEC.
All right, sounds good to me.
I'm going to Alabama to their running back, Mark Ingram. This kid averages almost 7 yards every time he touches the ball, with a 6.6 yards per carry and over a 9 yards per reception with 24 receptions. And he's a running back.
No,
24 receptions.
He's a special player, and he's a sophomore. I think his time will come to win a Heisman at some time, but I think this is Tim Tebow's farewell tour, and I'm pretty sure the voters are going to give it to him.
All right. Well, speaking of Heisman and all this college football, it's getting me going. What do you think about the national title?
I'm going to stick with my boy, Tim Tebow. I think he's going to lead, between him and Urban Meyer, they're going to lead the Florida Gators to another national championship.
Okay. Once again, dislike the choice. But that's okay. I am also sticking in the SEC, also sticking with Mark Ingram, going with Alabama for the national title. They got him at the number 2 spot and I just don't like it. I think that they've got the national title this year. I'm sorry, Florida. Enough rings on Urban Meyer's fingers.
Well, you know, the good news is that both these teams have already locked up a spot in the SEC championship game, so this should be interesting. One of those teams is going to the national championship game.
It's true. Now, I guess all I've got to say is we are
BC.